Welcome to the Sweet as Diabetes podcast. I am Taisha, and today we are going to be discussing my sweet journey, and that is my diabetic story. I was hit with it very unexpectedly at the age of 21, diagnosed at 21, and I'm currently 25. I'll be 26 this year, so we will be talking about all the ups and downs, the highs and lows of what I've been going through these past 5 years, and hopefully it can be of, you know, a good resource for you guys just to know what to look for, what symptoms to look for, what feelings to fill out for. It's a lot of different things that was going on at the time. So I hope that this is helpful for you. Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your healthcare provider or qualified medical professional with any questions or concerns you may have regarding your health or diabetes management. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, the content of this podcast may not always reflect the latest research or medical guidelines. We encourage you to consult reputable sources and discuss any changes to your diabetes management plan with your healthcare team. By listening to Sweet as Diabetes, you acknowledge and agree to the terms of this disclaimer. Thank you for joining us on this journey to redefine what it means to live sweetly with diabetes. Initial symptoms that kind of raised the red flag for me is kind of crazy. Like, everybody knows how I feel about the tongue. It's a very powerful tool. And I'm going to go back further to pinpoint moments in my life where I used to joke about it, not knowing that I even had it within me, like in my bloodline, to actually become diabetic. Like, I remember being in middle school and I would say this so often, or I would at least think about it, where it would be like, oh, my diabetes acting up, my diabetes acting up. Because, when you're young, you take everything as a joke, and you only joke about the things that you really don't even know about. You just think you know. So everybody initially thinks like, oh, diabetes is when you eat a lot of sugar and all these other untrue things, So unjokingly, like, sometimes I feel like I gave it to myself, like I manifested it, and it's crazy. So skip past middle school, I did some growing up, and now I'm in college. I'm in my junior year. Nope, I lied. I am in my sophomore year of college. And by this time, I'm probably like 180 in pounds plus. And, freshman 15 really turned in like freshman 50. But when they give you a meal plan that has almost unlimited meals, like, you gonna gain weight, first of all. So that's number two. I feel like I broke myself. I don't know if I triggered something within, and I don't even know if that's how it works exactly, but I feel like I had pushed past my limit. Growing up, I was always active, whether it was, I was always into something. Whether I was running or cheering, those are my main two things that I was doing growing up. So I was pretty active. I was more active than a lot of people my age anyway. Anyways, I know I'm jumping, but sophomore year of college, by this time, I'm a full-time student. I have a lot of classes. I'm having like 5 to 6 classes a semester, and we are in our spring semester. So it's frustrating. I'm so frustrated. But I remember going into this, and I remember being tired a lot. But I'm thinking, of course, I'm tired because I'm always studying. I'm always on the go. I'm always having to push myself past my limits. So, of course, I'm going to be tired. Okay, that's cool. But then it was the cotton mouth I was getting. And I'm like, this didn't used to happen. I couldn't really produce any saliva, really. It was hard. It was weird. I was like, what is, what's going on? As time goes on, you get the fruity taste in your mouth, and you're like, well, this is also different. Your skin starts drying up real bad. And I remember more so this being it towards my junior year. So, fall semester, junior year of 2019, I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Like, I put lotion on right before I left, the dorm, and I'm living like probably like 3 minutes walking distance from the building that the biology building that I'm in, and it's all types of stuff. You just and not to even mention I lost 50 pounds. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, distinctively, I remember sophomore year going into my summer. Um, I remember just losing weight. Like, I'm already trying to lose weight. I'm in the process of wanting to look better, feel better, change my diet, because I'm like, I've never been this big in my life. And it was weird. Like, even being bigger, my voice had changed, my face, like, you could tell it was me. But it was like, Jessica, I'm in here. But no, but like, seriously, like, it was like a whole nother person. So I wanted to really revert back and get to what I was used to, which was a smaller body frame, and I wanted to be healthier. And so that's going on. So, like I was initially telling you guys, it's summertime, and me and my family, we work out together. So we we're bench pressing, right? And normally I can do something. But at this point, I can't lift like 10 pounds on the bench. And I'm just like, yo, what's going, like, I want to do it, but it's like I couldn't find the strength to really do it. Oh, and that brings up another thing. I was getting very, very severe cramps, like, in my legs, to where they would sink in, like, around the shin area or even the calf area, and it would just be like excruciating pain, where I'm thinking that now I need to invest in leg cramp pills. And it's funny to me now, because it's like, wow, like, I knew what was going on, because I do a lot of research. So I was like, there is very high possibility that I'm diabetic. And on top of that, the constant urination. But it was like a very vicious cycle of, oh my gosh, I am so thirsty. Let me drink this 24 pack of water in 2 days. Like, the ones you get from like Walmart and Kroger and everything. And it's like, I'm going through this very quickly, so I'm having to go to the store, keep on buying water, invest in a Brita, wherever I can get. That's what I'm trying. I'm drinking so much apple juice at this time, because that was my favorite drink, and I'm just like, bro, this is not doing me no justice. Like, I cannot get unthirsty, and with all that liquid, you're gonna keep, flushing your system, and you gotta go pee a lot. So I'm doing that, and it's interrupting my sleep, my schedule. Like, I honestly don't even know how I got through all of that. It was really crazy. Now that I've been thought about it, but it's crazy. It's crazy that your body and your mind is trying to like tell you like, hey, something is wrong, something is wrong, something is wrong. And I couldn't really get any help at the time, because I'm 4 hours away from my primary physician, because I'm down there in Valdosta, Georgia. I went to VSU, graduated, cum laude, you feel me? But anywho, at that time, it was just all of these symptoms and signals, and it was 1,000 red flags. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. Everything comes into view, into premonition, for a reason. So one day, watching Blackish, and all the symptoms, they talking about it. They talking about diabetes. They talking about, but I think the only difference is that he was a type 2 diabetic, and those things were happening to me as well. And then later episodes, we will talk about the difference between type 1 and type 2, just so everybody's on the same page and everybody's clear. But it was a lot going on at that time, and it was kind of hard, because it's like, going back to the gym example, I'm bigger. I'm ready to lose weight, and at this time, I'm losing like 10 pounds like a month. Like, it's slipping off, like it's just melting off. Like, I'm gonna show you guys pictures, and if I have videos, then videos, just so you can see how dramatic the change was. And I had got down my lowest weight. out of all that time from like March, April to like November, maybe. Oh my gosh, was I had got down to 126. Right now, I'm standing at a maybe like 153 today. It's a B over here. I need to go inside. Oh my gosh. Please go away. Oh my god. I can't. Okay, I can see you. It's a wood bee or a honey bee or whatever it is. Oh my god. Please get away from me. Okay. You tripping because I got wood. Got you. Okay. You tripping. You real tripping. You real deal tripping. Are you done? Because I need to finish my story. Y'all, I don't like insects. Dang, they done threw me off. Anywho, let's skip to the good part. November comes around. I'm back at home for fall break, Thanksgiving break, whatever you want to call it. I'm finna have to move, guys, because this is not gonna work. Okay, yeah. Now I gotta move, y'all. I'm back. Sorry for that brief interruption. As you can tell, the daylight is slipping away. But I was having trouble with insects and stuff, so I was gonna deal with it. But to get back to where we were, it's November 2019, and I am coming back home for break. And what I didn't add was the fact that in October, a month earlier, I had gone just for a checkup, and my doctor told me, was like, okay, come back when you can. I'm like, okay, well, next time I can is when I'm back, home, which will be in November, at the end of November. So if my memory serves correctly, I go to the doctor when I get back, maybe like, the morning after we get back in here. And I'm with my mom, and we're in her room, and we just having a good grand old time. We just, chopping it up, catching up, da 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 da. And I get a notification for my labs, and we look at, I think it was my A1C at the time, and it's like just through the roof. It's like 15. And it had a greater sign, so greater than 15 or whatever. I guess it couldn't go no more. And we like, okay, so obviously something's wrong. So we get on Google, we start looking up like, if your A1C is 15, like what does that mean? What should you do? Type, And we're finding everything is basically inconclusive. Like, what does that mean? So I kid you not, maybe 5, 10, maybe max 15 minutes later, maybe, if it even was that long, doctor calls. Excuse me, is this Ms. Hines? Can we speak to Ms. Hines? Da, 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 da. I'm like, I'm speaking, And they get into, how are you feeling? Can you see? Da, 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 da. They're carrying on. And I'm just like, can I see? At the time, I'm just like, what are you, like, what? And they're just trying to make sure I'm okay. And I'm like, I feel great. I feel fine. I'm dandy. They're like, you need to go to the emergency room immediately. And I'm like, huh? So, mind you, this is the day before Thanksgiving. So me, my mom, and my brother, we all pack up our stuff and hop in the car immediately because apparently something is wrong with me. And we all just like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Like, what does all of this mean? So, is that a spider on my camera? Y'all gotta be kidding me. This outdoor stuff, not for the weak, and I am the weak. Anyways, focus. So we get there, and the first nurse, she looks at my stuff, and she takes my blood sugar and everything, and she's like, you know better, and da 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 da. Mind you, at this time, I'm very much unknown. I have no idea what's going on. No one has told me anything. And I'm like, what do you mean? I should know better and all this. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're diabetic. Huh? What? I know I'm who? I know I'm what? I'm like, that was the first thing. I was like, one, no, I don't. I don't know I'm diabetic. Like, literally, you're telling me this right now. I'm finding out as you're basically accusing me of basically doing bad because I didn't know. I don't know. I can't remember exactly where my numbers was at the time. I don't know if it was in the 500s or 700s, but basically we had to get it down. And it was just a big thing. I think they had put me on potassium and something else. I'm not really too sure. I can't remember. It was some years ago. But anywho, we fast forward, and they prescribed me some insulin. I don't remember. I have been on everything under the sun. They done put me on everything. They done put me from being type 1 to type 2 to type 1. Like, they didn't know what was going on. But I did go to Emory, and they confirmed that I was type 1 at one point in time. But my doctor wouldn't let me get anything that the lady had prescribed. It was really crazy. Like, that was all December. But even before we got to December, so we got Thanksgiving on a Thursday. And I started taking my insulin on that Thursday. That was my first time I experienced a low blood sugar, and it scared me so bad because I didn't know what was going on. I never felt that feeling in my life before. I started shaking, I started crying, and we were waiting to eat. I think at this time I was taking one of the insulins that I had to take 30 minutes before I ate. So I was trying to time it out. And at my uncle's house, dinner was kind of running late, and I was unaware about what this medicine was going to do to me. So we get to that part where I'm embarrassed myself because this is all new to me. Like, this is a day new to me, like hours really, because at first we were going to have to stay overnight at the hospital, but we ended up luckily having my blood sugar come down. It was fun. It was a frustrating time, really, because it was just like, I don't know what's going on with my body. And on top of that, it was just like, who do you even ask? Like, what do you do? I didn't have the resources that I really needed or wanted at the time. So it was very scary. And I scared a lot of people in my family. Everybody was crying. I was crying, trying to control it, but I couldn't. I was embarrassed, to keep it short, sweet. Friday goes by, and then Saturday morning, me and my mom were on our way to a baby shower, and I woke up, and I couldn't see. Yep, I couldn't see. And I did forget to mention, during my college stay, being undiagnosed, some mornings I'd wake up, it'll be blurry, but it'll go away. But this time, I'm thinking it's the same thing, and it didn't go away for a month. So that was hard for me as well. Having no sight, I had to go back down to Valdosta, and basically, I was alone. I ain't have my family. My friends that I did have down there, they didn't. The ones that did deal with me and help me, it was a blessing. The ones that I thought was going to be there for me basically wasn't. It was a hard time, but I know it was a hard time for my family too, and it was a big adjustment because some people learn differently. Some people learn by hearing things. Some people learn by seeing things. Some people learn by doing. I was a doer-seer type of learner. Like, I had to be able to interact with what I'm learning with. And so when that was taken away from me, I had started thinking, like, maybe I don't need to go to school next semester. Like, if I make it out of this semester, I'm not going back. And I'm saying this with, 3 more semesters left, 2 more spring, 1 more fall. And because, it was a very discouraging time for me. And biggest shout outs to my mom. Like, I would call her, I'm crying, I can't see, I'm hungry. I like, the only things I really could see, like, I could
see the lights and I could see shapes, but like if I looked in the mirror, I couldn't see my own face. So it was like the scariest thing because I was like, dang, like what if all this time of not knowing that I'm diabetic has messed with my eyes so much that now I'm going blind. And that was scary. That was terrifying. I didn't know. I had no idea. The only thing I knew was I wasn't going to waste any time, no money going back to school if I couldn't see because I was a mass media major. If I can't see, how am I going to do anything, you know? And being that I was a very persistent person, I value my education. I value everything that was given to me and all the opportunities. So I show up to class on time. I go to every class. I interact with the classes. You know, I do all of that. So when it came time to explain to my professors, like, I can't see, like, I'm scared. I don't know what this would mean because it's also at the time it's finals time. So if you can read the finals to me, I'll take it. Or if I can exempt, it would be greatly appreciated because I am stressed and I don't know what to do. And I just got diagnosed like a week ago. And some of my teachers, they were like, of course you don't have to take it. Like your average is high enough that we know you know the material. You're good. Don't worry about it. Then I had some teachers that was more so like, no, you're still going to take this test. You're still going to give this presentation. Same teacher, by the way. That was the one teacher that just was not letting up regardless. I think she thought I was faking. And that was crazy. Because it was like, she really didn't believe me. And I was like, bro, I need to bring her these papers or something because I can't. But I mean, with the help of my mom, she really helped me through that. She helped me study. She helped me prepare for the presentations. And the crazy thing about the presentation was that I guess I was so nervous and so embarrassed that I couldn't see. I really had to go up there by myself. And like, it was such a different experience. Like, I'm having to feel around, ask people to help guide me to the board. Can they do this? Can they do that? And I'm trying to remember what's on the slides. And I'm still trying to do my best because, you know, that's just who I was. That's who I am. And oh man, my sugar had dropped. Now I know that's what was going on. I didn't know what was going on at the time, but I had got real shaky, real, you know, breathing real heavy and everything, and it was just scary. You know, I was like, I hope nobody's like judging me, but even if they was, I couldn't see them no way. So I guess that was a bonus. But yeah. So a big chunk of that was in 2019. Now, moving forward, I had been swapped around with doctors and I had to switch my doctors a multitude of times because I felt like people didn't care about me. One of my doctors, when I was trying to express to her, like, I can't see, she was like, oh, just drink water. And I'm like, excuse me? She was like, well, I don't know what else to tell you and all this other stuff. And I was just like, wow. Like, it was very disappointing. The health system was really failing at that time. Very big ball drop. But I did end up switching her because she was very inappropriate, very unprofessional, if I had to say anything to describe this woman. Got switched from her to another man. I don't even know what happened to him. Got switched to another doctor and another doctor. Like, I've been seeing a lot of doctors. And then one time I thought I was about to get some more help. Then I had to wait from May to August. August came around, they canceled my appointment. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't keep letting these people just play with me. Like, this is my whole life. And y'all are really out here just like, well, you're just diabetic. And like, when you have your healthcare professionals telling you like, oh, it doesn't really matter, or you'll be fine, or whatever, you stop caring because you like, well, it's not that big of a deal. If the healthcare professionals are telling you it doesn't matter, then obviously something, you know, it must not be that big of a deal. Later, I did find out it is that big of a deal. You can go into oh yeah, dang, that's crazy. It's so much in this story. But one time my doctor told me, after I found out that I was diabetic, she was like, I'm surprised you didn't go into a diabetic coma. And I'm like, huh? It was the worst experience. So my starting perception or perspective about diabetes was horrible. I was miseducated. I was very lost, very in the dark about a lot of things that was going on. And I wish I would have been able to talk to somebody about, everything, because that was a horrible experience, really. But anyway, fast forward, really, I say maybe 2 years into it, maybe 3, I started giving up. I stopped checking my blood sugars. If I took my insulin, if I didn't, I didn't really care. And I don't laugh in a hee-hee way, hee-hee, but I laugh in it's crazy, because I was like, you get thoughts like, oh, I could do this or I could not do that, and it'll impact me this way or that way. It really don't matter because I don't care anymore. And then, you find out, oh, well, that's dangerous too. But I did end up getting help this year, 2024. That's the year everything changed. I ended up switching my insurance. I ended up switching my doctors. I ended up making better choices and feeling like there was, like my life had a little bit more purpose than it had before. So I started taking it seriously. I started thinking about my future and what it would mean to, for example, create a family while being diabetic. With my current conditions and current, vitals and everything, it would be very unsafe. We're going to get into that in later episodes as well. So I was on a mission. It was bigger than me, so I changed. And within the first day of meeting my new doctors and my new care team, I was able to get a continuous glucose monitor. I was able to get on the right medication. By the time this video comes out, I'll be on a pump. And we're going to see how that go. Right now, I'm using Lantus and Limjev, and in the pen form. It's cool. At first, I was using vials and, needle, like old-fashioned type stuff. But now I'm a little bit more fancy. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Despite all of those obstacles, though, I just remind myself that it's more to life and it's worth living. Might as well experience it while I'm here. I got plenty of time to be gone, and it's not my time. So that's where I'm really at right now. And it feels kind of like a power move to feel like now I got my health in my own hands. Like now I don't have to worry about, am I going to run out of supplies? So I don't have to limit myself on how many times a day I check my sugar, or it's so much that I even learned just through this little time. Like I'm on my 3rd sensor at this moment. So I haven't even been wearing this for a month. So it's like you learn way more about the choices that you make, the food that you eat, the activities that you engage in. Like it's so much more informative, and so like I feel like even my Apple Health is telling me like, oh well, your glucose is definitely get it going down. So I know I'm improving. I know the choices that I'm making is further like making me a better woman, and it's making me happier just to know that I can finally breathe for real and not have to be like, oh, my chest is hurting so bad. Like, am I going to have a heart attack, or is something going to, like, am I going to go into a coma, or am I going to have a stroke, or, you know what I'm saying? So it just feels great, and I'm happy about that. So, yeah. Yeah. For the most part, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of my diabetic journey. and just listening and hearing me out about what happened to me. If you are diabetic and you have a story that was kind of unconventional, or like you weren't grown up into it, or however your story unfolded, like leave a comment. Tell me your story. I would love to hear about it, read about it, compare notes, see how you felt compared to how I felt. If you felt something totally different or whatever your experience is, I would love to hear about it. But that is all I have for today's episode. And I'm Taisha. This is Sweet as Diabetes, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.